Hi everybody! For our first song today, we're going to learn a Halloween song. This Halloween song is called I'm a Little Ghost. It has a couple hand motions, but mostly I just want to teach you how to sing this song. So I'm going to sing first, and then I want you to repeat after me, or be my echo. I'll go first, then your turn. I'm a little ghost. Did you repeat after me? Let's try one more time. And when I go like this, I want you to sing what you just heard me sing. Here we go. I'm a little ghost. I say boo. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm a little ghost. I say boo. I will scare you. And at the end, at the same time, we go, boo! Try it. Boo! The whole song sounds like this. You can sing with me, or if you want, you can just listen this first time. Here's the whole song, and I'm going to add in some hand motions. I'm a little ghost. I say boo. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm a little ghost. I say boo. I will scare you. Boo! If you didn't sing it with me the first time, will you sing that whole song with me now? And try doing our hand motions with me. They're not too hard. We're going to start by pointing our thumbs at ourselves. I'm a little ghost. I say boo. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm a little ghost. I say boo. I will scare you. Boo! Great job singing that song. For our next part, I need you to find something in your house that can turn you into a ghost. That might be a blanket or a tablecloth or a sheet, anything that your grown-ups say it's okay to pretend to be a ghost with. Let me go get my blanket and I'll show you what I look like as a spooky ghost. All right, here is my blanket that I'm going to use to be a ghost. I really like this blanket because it has musical notes on it. This is a blanket that a student gave to me a couple years ago, and I really like it because it's really warm and it has music notes on it, so it reminds me of music class. To be a spooky ghost, I'm going to put this blanket over my head. But when I put it over my head, I'm not going to be able to see everything around me. So I need to be extra careful so that I don't run into anything and so that I don't break anything around me. This is what I look like as a spooky ghost. Do I look kind of spooky? I hope I look a little spooky, but I also don't want to scare anyone, so hopefully I don't look too scary. So, in a minute, I'm going to put this blanket back on my head, and then we're going to listen and sing along with the song we just learned. I'm going to be a spooky ghost, and I'm going to float around my classroom pretending to be a ghost while I sing. And you can do the same thing at your house. Just make sure that you're extra careful when you're walking around so that you don't run into anything or anybody and so that you don't hurt yourself. All right, put your blanket over your head and get ready to sing and pretend to be a ghost. Here we go. I'm a little ghost. pretending to be a spooky ghost. Maybe you could teach this song to someone in your house and you could pretend to be spooky ghosts together. Last week in your online music class, we started to learn how to read music notes. We learned about one special note, and that note is called a quarter note. Can you say quarter note? A quarter note looks like this. It has a stick at the top, and then we just color in a circle at the bottom. Do you remember, what does a quarter note say when we see it? If you said ta, you're right. When we see a quarter note, we say ta, and we spell that T-A. Ta. When we see a quarter note, how many times do we clap? If you said one time, you're right. When we see a quarter note, we say ta, and we clap one time. Ta. Try that with me. Ta. Last week, we practiced clapping and saying 4 quarter notes in a row. So let's do that again now, just for practice. All right, let's practice clapping and saying this pattern together. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. Let's do it one more time. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. Now, I wrote the word ta underneath all of these quarter notes, but even if I erase the word, we're still going to say ta. So let me erase the letters, and we'll say this pattern in just the same way. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. Let's try one more time. Here we go. Ta, 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 ta. We also learned about the quarter rest last week. The quarter rest sounds like this. It's totally quiet. So if I erased one of my quarter notes and I wrote in a quarter rest, how would this pattern sound? Try it on your own and I will wait. Did your pattern sound like this? Ta, ta, ta. Let's try that one more time together. When we get to the quarter rest, make sure you do this to remind yourself to be quiet. Let's start at the beginning. Here we go. Ta, ta, ta. Great job. At the end of our last lesson, I told you that we were going to learn about eighth notes. Can you say eighth notes? And eighth notes look a lot like quarter notes, but there's one big difference. So I'm going to draw 2 quarter notes. Remember, a quarter note looks like a stick with a circle at the bottom. So there's 1 quarter note. Now I'm going to draw another one right next to it. There's my 2nd quarter note. So right now, this pattern says ta, ta. But what if these quarter notes wanted to hold hands? They wanted to be friends. We'll tie them together by drawing a line at the top. And this line connects my 2 quarter notes so that they become one new special note. This is an eighth note pair. Can you say eighth note pair? An eighth note pair is just two quarter notes connected at the top. And when we see an eighth note pair, instead of saying ta, ta, we say tawdy. And we spell that T-A-D-I. Tawdy. Can you say tawdy? Great job. When we see a quarter note, we say ta, and when we see an eighth note pair, we say tawdy. When we see a quarter note, we clap one time. Ta. When we see an eighth note pair that's tied together, we clap two times and we say tawdy. So it will sound like this. Tawdy. Try that with me. Tawdy. One more time. Tawdy. Let's practice saying 4 toddies in a row. I'm going to draw it out and then we'll do it together. There's one eighth note pair. There's our second one. There's our third one. And there's our last one. We'll say toddy, 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 toddy. And every time we get to one of these circles, we'll clap. Just listen this first time, and I'll show you what this sounds like. Toddy, 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 toddy. Will you try it with me? Here we go. Toddy, 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 toddy. Did you clap once for every single circle? Let's try one more time and make sure you clap 2 times for every eighth note pair. Here we go. Toddy, 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 toddy. Great job. What if I erased one of my toddies? And in its place, I put a quarter note. What does a quarter note say? A quarter note says ta. So our new pattern sounds like this. Toddy, 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 ta. Will you try that with me? Here we go. Toddy, 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 ta. What if I erased another one of our eighth note pairs? And I put another quarter note in its place. This says ta. So our new pattern sounds like this. Toddy, ta, toddy, ta. Will you try that with me? Here we go. Toddy, ta, toddy, ta. How did you do? Now I'm going to erase another toddy. And in its spot, I'm going to put a quarter rest. What does a quarter rest sound like? A quarter rest sounds like quiet. So our new pattern sounds like this. Ta-dee-ta, ta. That one's kind of tricky. Will you try it with me? Here we go. Ta-dee-ta, ta. That one's hard. Let me write a new pattern. What does this note say? It's a quarter note, so it says ta. What does this note say? It's the same type of note, so it also says ta. What does this note say? This is our new note. This is an eighth note pair. So it says ta-dee. And what does our last note say? It's another quarter note, so it says ta. Our new pattern sounds like this. Ta, ta, ta-dee-ta. Will you try that with me? Here we go. Ta, ta, ta-dee-ta. How did you do? Let's try one more pattern. And this time I want to see if you can figure it out all by yourself, and then we'll do it together. What do these notes say? Do they say ta or ta-dee? There are two circles, and it's an eighth note pair, so it says ta-dee. What about our next note? What does this say? It looks the same, so it says ta-dee. What does this note say? It's just a quarter note, so it says ta. And what does our last note say? It says ta. Do you think you can clap this rhythm all by yourself? I will point to where we are, but will you say and clap it without me? Let's try. Here you go. How did you do? This time I will say it and I will point, but I want you to say it and clap. Here we go. Ta-dee, ta-dee, ta, ta. How did you do? Let's try saying it and clapping it together. Here we go. Ta-dee, ta-dee, ta, ta. Great job learning how to say a new note today. Now you know 3 different types of musical notes. You know our quarter note. And our quarter note says ta. You know our eighth note. And our eighth note says ta-di. And you know our quarter rest. And our quarter rest says it's totally quiet. Great job learning to read new music rhythms today. For your last music activity this week, we're going to end with a book called Over in the Hollow. This book is a singing book, so I'm going to sing every page to you. This book is fun and kind of spooky because on every page we sing about a different Halloween creature. Some of them are made up, and some of them are just normal animals that people think of as kind of spooky. But I really like this book, especially during the week of Halloween. Enjoy! Over in the Hollow by Rebecca Dickinson, illustrated by S. Britt. Over in the hollow where the cobwebs are spun, lived a giant mother spider and her little spider one. Spin, hummed the mother, I spin, hums the one. So they spun silver lace where the cobwebs are spun. Over in the hollow, wrapped in old sheets and glue, lived an old moldy mummy and her little mummies too. Lurch, moan the mummy, we lurch, moan the two, and they lurch into mist, wrapped in old sheets and glue. Over in the hollow, in a twisted, tangled tree, lives a spooky mama owl and her little owlets three. Who's the mama? We hoot the three, so they hoo and they hoot in their twisted, tangled tree. Over in the hollow, in a coffin on the floor, lived a pale grandpa vampire and his little vampies four. Bite, groans the grandpa, we bite, groan the four, so they nibble and they bite in their coffin on the floor. Over in the hollow where the bats dip and dive, lived a furry grandma bat and her little batties five. Flapped, squeaked the grandma, we flap, squeaked the five, so they flap and they flutter where the bats dip and dive. Over in the hollow on their magic broomsticks flies a good auntie witch and her little witchy six. Zoom, cries the auntie, we zoom, cry the six, so they zoom through the night on their magic broomsticks. Over in the hollow, a swingin' and a steppin' live a granddaddy Frankenstein and his little Frankie seven. Stomp, shouts the daddy, we stomp, shout the seven, so they stomp and they clomp, a swingin' and a steppin'. Over in the hollow through a creaky graveyard gate prowls a hairy Uncle Werewolf and his little wolfies eight. Howl, growls the grandpa, we howl, growl the eight, so they howl and they prowl through the creaky graveyard gate. Over in the hollow, 'neath the blue moonshine, sits a Papa Jack-o'-lantern, his little pumpkins 9. Glow, whispers Papa, we glow, whisper the 9, so they glimmer and they glow 'neath the blue moonshine. Over in the hollow, in a mossy green glen, live a two-headed monster and his little monsters 10. Eek, shrieks the Papa, we eek, shriek the 10, so they eek and they shriek in the mossy green glen. Over in the hollow 'neath the dark starry heaven shakes a singing skeleton, and his little bones 11. Boogie sings the papa wee, boogie sing the 11. So they boogie and they woogie 'neath the dark starry heavens. Over in the hollow where the rats dig and delve slinks a spooky black cat and her little kitties 12. Hiss, yells the mother wee, hiss, yell the 12. So they hiss and they hunt where the rats dig and delve. Over in the hollow through an eerie moonlit scene glides a phantom mama ghost and her little ghost 13. Boo, wails the mother wee, boo, wail 13, and they float over the hollow through the velvet night unseen. The end.